and welcome to It's About Youth. My name is Soraya Mia, and on today's episode, we have a very special guest. Her name is Hawa Rizwana Redzwan. If you don't know her yet, she was a news and TV anchor, actually studied journalism, but now an up and rising superstar. She has just ventured her career into acting as well as modeling. So thank you so much, Hawa, for joining us.
Thank you, Soraya,
on
for
the show
having
tonight.
me. Assalamualaikum, everyone. Hi.
Hawa, everybody probably who don't know you yet, they want to know, how did you begin your career? Tell us, tell the audience.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much for having me. Long story short, and I've never even planned to, be a news presenter or a TV host or even an actress. But I just follow the flow. I studied my best, and then at the same time, I started my internship at this one live talk show program. We talk about women's issues and current affairs. So I did my internship there, and they offered me to work as a journalist and a TV news presenter at that time. That was in 2017. And after a year and a half at this one TV station, and then I was offered to another TV station also as a journalist and TV news presenter. Then I was a full-time employee, and I decided to pursue my master's because I think I need a backup, and at the same time, in case one day I might want to go into the education industry.
So what master's course did you take?
Communications.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, carry on.
Because that's what I studied for my degree, journalism, so might as well take something familiar, right? And then I found that I didn't even have any time to breathe because you work, as a journalist, you work like non-stop.
Understand.
And at night for the news segment, it's like from 4 until 9. And then with other offers to work, to create contents. Because now that's the era. And then after that, I decided for survival, for stability, I decided to quit as a journalist and just present the news as a part-timer. But I enjoyed it so much, and then rasa macam what a waste because I studied journalism and then just present the news.
Okay.
But at the same time, I was doing my master's, so you can't have it all.
Yeah.
And alhamdulillah, a few months later, I got offered for the talk show that I did my intern, and then another talk show we talk about health, and then I was offered as a radio announcer. It's like more of a serious genre. We talk about current issues. And then long story short, last November, I entered the entertainment industry. Wasn't in my plan. And then right now I'm doing Maletop, Radio Era on Saturday, and just started acting. So that's the whole story.
That's a lot of things within a couple of years.
Yeah, alhamdulillah.
It does sound like you okay, so you want to actually pursue in the future, perhaps in education, and perhaps the media industry, people in general might look at you like, oh, she's probably beautiful, popular, but then they don't get the part where you're actually beauty with brains. So what would you like to advocate to people who are interested to pursue their career? Because generally this episode we are talking about media content creation and how this industry is actually a very growing industry.
Exactly.
Aside from the mainstream media, where we also have social media, and on social media platforms you have quite a following. You have about 800,000 followers on Instagram. So what is your
following?
So what is your advice to all of these young people, young Malaysians who actually want to pursue their career in sort of the media industry or content creation?
Soraya is being too kind right now, but it's all rizki. But yeah, to me, have something extra and have the right intention. It's not all about glam, because right now, especially with all these social media platforms, everyone can easily be famous, be known, easily
Exactly.
for good reasons or the opposite reasons. But to me, have the right intention, because if you truly have a passion to give information to other people, to be the first to give the right exact information to other people, and and at least have something extra. If you're into fashion, you can be a fashion journalist, you can be a fashion TV host. If you're into law or policy, you can be a news presenter, or you can be a TV host, but to be the one that people inspired, you have to have something extra. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, I totally get your point on that one, and I so agree with your point when you actually said, having a following, you actually have sort of a responsibility. It's not about just the glam. You want to advocate, you want to educate the public. So perhaps, what do you think, the media industry currently, what does it lack, and where do you think it could actually improve?
Yeah, it's very tough because right now everyone wants to be the first to share the news or the stories. To me, I mean, it's doing okay, but at the same time, I wish there would be more positivity. There would be more positive or good news. We should celebrate more. We should advocate more and give more awareness in terms of, because right now, as much as there are so many advantages of social media, there are disadvantages. Mental health, people should be more aware of. So I think we should highlight more on the positive news instead of gossips. Yeah. So
negative gossip is always it's always room, to make things, to create drama. And I guess when we have a responsibility online, I mean, it's always good to be kinder to others.
Yeah, and as readers also, because sometimes we have to choose what we read, right? But sometimes it's just there on your timeline. We have to choose, okay, what is the get out from this? Okay, if this news is negative, how to make it positive? How can I be a better person by reading this, as much as it's so negative? But it's depend on us lah.
Well, okay, so let's talk a little bit about the good side about social media. We understand that this industry also has a very big potential to grow entrepreneurs, per se. People are calling themselves, content creators, influencers, and even entrepreneurs. So what are your thoughts about this?
Okay. I'm really amazed by people who can create content, with all the transitions. I've shot many videos, but tak pernah jadi pun.
Susah sangat.
Because with all the time and commitment and their creativity, so I think we should celebrate that. But as entrepreneurs, I think it is good. It is good because you can work and you can sell your products everywhere and anywhere. But I think it's good for them to know some ethics, because I'm quite worried of the future generations, because they see all this, they read and they hear all these languages that they're not supposed to say or know. So I think it is good. It is good. We should celebrate it and we should support, especially our local entrepreneurs. But at the same time, I think there should be
more regulations?
Yes, and guidelines.
Guidelines. Okay, so in terms of when you talk about regulations and guidelines, and if this industry is growing and continuously growing, what do you think the Malaysian government or the communications and multimedia ministry could actually do to better the industry, or at least in the social media space?
Yeah, because we heard that TikTok restrict those 18-year-old and below to use TikTok more than an hour, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I know it's not easy to block anyone to do this and to do that. I think be more strict on the products that are sold on social media, and probably those who are really qualified to sell products. So I think more on that lah. But other than that, I think
actually that's a very, very good point. Nowadays we see a lot of entrepreneurs, and I mean, by all means, it's great that people are starting their own businesses, to make a living and whatnot. But also, my question to you is, what about these products that are over-promising, that are these some influencers, they take any products at all, and then they perhaps have a very minimal knowledge on the product, and then they advocate with about 2 million, sometimes 3 million followers on Instagram. Everybody sort of just believe what they say. So what do you think about this?
Yeah. Because I was there, I was younger. And then at that time it's all about, at that time my followers from 6,000, and suddenly within days it went up to 80,000 for some reason. And then there were offers to review products and products that you've never heard of, but they pay good. But luckily I have my parents. I mean, at that age you were quite rebellious, but luckily I have my parents, my dad and my mom. They always told me that it's not all about the money, it's about your credibility, and it's about how people see you. If you promote like everything just because of money, your image. So I think we should choose and be sincere about it, because as you grow, and I think experience do help, and the people around you that advise you, I think you have to pick and choose the products that you really use. And if you haven't used it, I think you should like experience it before you share, because that's the responsibility. And anyone can be influencers, but to maintain, because everyone can easily be famous, but for for survival, for long term, you should be more careful and be wise in choosing. Yeah.
So choose your products.
Yeah.
Choose your brand as well. That's how you,
Exactly,
because
yeah.
in this industry you are your own boss. So you
Exactly.
sort of choose, what kind of image you want to put out there,
Yeah.
and what kind of influence, or what kind of what do you want to share with the general public. So we are going to talk more about how is pivot into maybe acting, hosting, and also radio announcing after the break. We'll be right back. Hello and welcome back to It's About Youth. I'm Soraya Mia, and I'm speaking to former news anchor journalist Hawa Rizwana Redzwan, who now is a lot of things actually. She's now into acting. She's now a radio announcer, as well as a host, and also modeling. So Hawa, before we get into more on your career, just now in the first
I
block-
love your name.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank
when
you.
you first texted me, I was Soraya Mia. Oh wow, beautiful name. Sorry.
Thank you so much. Well, that was so random, but yeah. Okay. Anyway, I was talking about how you started your career, and then you had mentioned actually before this you suddenly had people started following you, or
I
you went
wonder why.
viral. They call, right? And a lot of people know you for how you look like Nilofa, sort of. Yeah. So
Gosh.
do you think that that's also had influenced or helped your career in some sense?
Like it or not, people recognize me because of that. But Alhamdulillah, to be compared to Nilofa, she's someone who's amazing. She's very beautiful. She's very smart. And I've known her since I was 14, been reading her. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then it's very inspiring, but at the same time, to be compared to someone who's really experienced, sometimes...
Pressure.
Yeah, pressure and emotionally not okay. But I've worked with her, and then she's amazing. She's really inspiring. So I think it helped me to be more comfortable with it, with the comparison. But at the same time, I don't think that anyone want to be known as someone who look like this or look like that. And I think it helps me, or it forced me to know my strength, to know what I'm good at, to be known as me, myself, someone who are well grown by my parents. Yeah.
So now you're your own person.
Hopefully, inshallah, I'm still learning, still finding myself.
We all are. We all really are. So tell us how the transition really was. You said you've never really been into entertainment, because journalism, current affairs, and entertainment is not that similar. So
At all.
Tell us your story.
Okay, because it was never in my plan. I've never dreamt of become an actress or an entertainment TV host or radio era even. But alhamdulillah, it's so different. But at first, I wasn't really well received by some audience, because I think they've seen me on the news, on like serious programs for more than 5 years. I've been doing that for more than 5 years, and it's different.
Yeah.
Because on entertainment, the content are different, and your body language is different. Your language even is different. For example, on serious talk shows, you can't even say kurang. Right?
Yes,
you
of
say
course.
anda like all the time, and I've been saying anda for 5 years.
Do you actually say that in Melatot, like anda?
At first,
Sometimes.
yeah, but depends on your guests and your audience, right? You can't say korang to like senior actors, right?
Oh, is it? I have no idea. I would probably just go in and be like, hey, korang. I don't know. Okay. That's why I'm in news.
Yeah, and then that's some of the challenges, but I'm learning from Nabil, my co-host, even my friends from ERA, Radim, Pak Azad. They're like so relaxed. And I think because of my personality as the only daughter in the family, my parents are really, really strict. So I think my personality and my experience in working with news shapes me to be someone who's quite uptight maybe and very controlled. So I'm glad, I think that's the hikmah or silver linings of suddenly jump into the entertainment industry to find the other side, the fine side of me. So it's been like 5 months, I think, and I'm learning, and I hope one day we'll find our strength and what we're good at. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a process. Especially, discovering new sides of ourselves, perhaps, in different segments of the media industry that you go into. Now you mentioned just now, some of the challenges or one of the challenges. What are perhaps other obstacles that, as a woman, to be on the forefront of things, not only on television, but also on social media, dealing with people call, netizens.
Yeah.
Have you ever had any experiences for yourself?
Gosh, yeah.
Yeah?
I've had, but alhamdulillah, there are more support than, hatred. But at the same time, there are like 100 comments commenting about how good you are, how beautiful you are, how they love you. But sometimes there are like one comment that talks bad about you, that's so negative, and you tend to focus on that one comment.
Yeah.
It's not easy, and I tend to overthink about it over and over again.
Trust me too.
Yeah, kind. But luckily, I have my cousin, my support system, my friends that are willing to hear all my rants, my complaints about these comments. So I think different people, we deal differently. So with me, I cry or I tell them like, why are there these people in this world and why they exist and why do they have the heart to say these things? So to me, as long as it's back to our intention of posting or doing anything or wearing anything is, we know the right intention, so believe in that. And as long as you have your family and friends who tell you that what you're doing is okay, that you're on the right track, so that's fine, that's okay.
Yeah. I really like the part about intentions.
Yeah.
Sometimes, we tend to get lost. And
Yeah.
We tend to get lost in perhaps the fame, the numbers, and then
Yeah.
we forget, like why is the reason, what is the
Exactly.
purpose that you are actually given this opportunity in the first place. Okay, so now let's talk a little bit more about backtracking.
All right. Throwback.
Throwback. So
All right.
Hawa was actually born in the U.S.
Yeah.
But now you're currently a Malaysian citizen.
So are you, right?
Yes, me too. So the difference between me and Hawa is that actually both of her parents are Malaysian. Meanwhile, my mom is Malaysian and my father is not. He's foreigner from Thailand, and the situation. So the situation for citizenships, to confer to these children born overseas is very different. I was actually not given the natural or the automatic citizenship rights. Meanwhile, Hawa was given the automatic citizenship right, because of both of her parents.
Yeah.
So this is actually a topic that's being talked about a lot.
Since
in
last
fact,
year?
It was actually about 2 years.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
When
Yeah.
Family Frontiers actually brought it up to the court.
Yep.
So now we are actually awaiting for the amendments to the federal constitution to allow automatic citizenship to the children born to Malaysian mothers and foreign fathers, and this would be tabled in Parliament sometime soon. So, Hawa, with everything that I just shared just now, what are your thoughts on this equal citizenship thing in Malaysia?
Yeah, because I was born there. till I was 2, then we moved to Subang Jaya. I mean, to Malaysia and Subang Jaya. And then, I mean, to me, it's not a problem because, I mean, I wish that we can have dual citizenship so that it's easy for us to go back there.
Yeah.
I wanted to pursue my master's there or PhD, maybe inshallah. But you know, it would be easier if your citizenship is USA, right? But right now, mine is Malaysia. But I have a friend, both of his parents are Malaysian, but they're there in Illinois, in USA. He's a footballer, and he was offered to play for Malaysia. Yeah, his parents both are from Malaysia, but he can't because of his citizenship is in the US. But he's a good football player, so he can't play for Malaysia. So to me, that's a waste because he was trained there for years. For 18 years. He's a good football player to represent Malaysia. But because of the citizenship, he couldn't. So to me, I wish it would be easier for the future. Yeah, and for people like you as well, right?
Yeah, so how was your process actually, you know, conferring the citizenship? So you moved back to Malaysia
For good.
When you were how old?
2.
2.
Yeah.
Okay, so you just went back and then you were just you changed your citizenship just like that.
Yeah, it's just like that. Yeah, it's very simple, but you know there are so many advantages if you have dual citizenship. But
Malaysian government, if you're watching this,
hopefully, yes,
but
please.
yeah, perhaps we have definitely a lot of issues that should be prioritized, especially this equal citizenship rights. And we're hoping, you know, this bill will be passed in the first stage, and then perhaps, you know, made into a law to actually allow all Malaysian children. Doesn't matter if their mom or their father is Malaysian. They all deserve, you know, equal citizenship rights or automatic citizenship rights.
To make it fair.
Yes, exactly. We're all about, you know, equality, equity, and whatnot. Okay, so Hawa, you said also that you were still in current affairs now, right?
I'm still open to doing it.
You're still open to doing it. Yeah. So, in you know the journalism industry, what was your beat? You know, you said that you had interest, or you started with talking about women issues, health as well.
Yeah.
So, if you were to like grow yourself in certain issues, what would you advocate? What's your beat?
You know, I've never planned to do anything. That's bad. You better plan.
I don't plan either.
Really?
Yeah.
I wanted to, you know, I have like so many ambition, like to be a fashion designer, to be a scientist, a lawyer. But apparently, I was a broadcast journalist, TV host, and suddenly an actress. You know, probably people see that I'm doing it all, but at the same time, I don't have my focus. Okay. So when you ask this is a really valid and a good question, because I'm still looking for it. But I think right now, my interest is more on mental health, probably health, and probably the opportunities given before are more on women, lifestyle, and health issues. So I think probably that's what I'm trained, and my interest is that. So I think I'll probably create more content on that. The plan is there, but haven't executed them yet.
at least you have a plan right there. So
yeah, because I don't want my postings to be all OOTDs, all
fashion.
Yeah. At least you want to give some
value, some knowledge. Yeah,
exactly.
And I totally agree. That I feel that it's great that you have that, you know, mindset, and also the background that you had the experience.
Alhamdulillah.
So yeah, even if you don't, if people have their interest in certain topics, I feel like it's really great that people would, you know, do their proper research, of course, before posting anything, and then maybe educate the younger generations out there. So we have just about like less than 1 minute left.
I know.
Do you have anything you'd like to tell the audience finally? You know, on you know,
for youth?
Yes, for the young Malaysians venturing into content creation. What's your final words for them?
All right, just enjoy your journey and do whatever you like, but at the same time, make sure that before you create, before you post it, remind yourself of the intention of doing it, the give out, or the impact that you want to give to your audience. So enjoy and do your very best.
Okay, so that was Hawa Rizwana Redzwan. Thank you so much for joining us on It's About Youth tonight. My name is Soraya Mia, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Bye.
Bye.